be going over the simple truth of maintaining a rotary. From an amateur mechanic, I'm not a professional. I do have some certifications, by no means for a rotary or anything like that, just for regular engines and their student certifications. But as far as how experienced I am, I'm not all that experienced with cars. I mean, I've been working on them since I was about 16, but I know tons of people who have been working on them way longer and know way more than me. But honestly, rotaries, they aren't that difficult to work on. Like, there's really not going to be that many like tools that are going to be rotary specific. It's not all that difficult. Are they going to last as long as a normal piston engine? Probably not. I mean, maybe in extreme cases, if you are absolutely mental with the maintenance, go above and beyond, maybe. And if you build it right, maybe it'll last. But for the most part, people building them for power, they're not going to last. But honestly, building anything for power, it's not gonna last forever. But really just basic maintenance is not hard in the slightest, especially on my FC. The AC's removed, the AC's out. There's so much room to work in there. The only thing that's slightly difficult is going against the firewall, but I mean, as far as the throttle body's kind of stuck up against there, there's a few things, not all that much is back there. It's basically just the throttle cable. And some of the stuff you can just take it off and work on it, which is what I would recommend instead of trying to weasel your hand in there. But it's really not that bad. Like any of your basic maintenance, it's not that different from a normal car. As much as people want to try and act like it's some like foreign thing, if you really just if you have a basic knowledge of a piston engine, you can probably figure out, as far as the accessories and stuff like that, how a water pump works on a piston engine. It works the same just about on a rotary. How an alternator works on a piston engine, it works the same. But so many shops out there and so many people want to act like, I can't work on this. It really isn't that difficult. I mean, rebuilding, that's a whole nother thing. But I mean, it's still not going to be all that, it's a skill just like anything else. It's not like people try and gatekeep, people try and act like it's some impossible thing. But honestly, if you really want a rotary, I probably wouldn't advise getting one as a daily driver unless you were going to spend, $10, $12, $15,000 on one that's just going to work out right after purchase, which it still might not even work. But if you know someone reputable and want to spend the money and you want to daily it, by all means do it. But if you're getting one like me for, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, I wouldn't advise it as a daily, budget price range. I mean, you might be able to, but chances are probably not. As far as parts weights, most stuff, like for me, I'm ordering from Atkins pretty frequently now, and it's usually like 2 to 4 day wait, which is not bad at all. Like I mean, of course, a lot of parts on other cars, you'd just be able to go to AutoZone and get it, which some of them I may have been able to, but it was just easier for me to order off Atkins than go to AutoZone. Then they probably don't have it, because half the time it'll say online that we have it, and then get there, don't have it, or it's not the right thing. So yeah, honestly, it's not that bad as far as parts weights. I've had much longer wait times on some parts for domestic stuff, but probably, as far as it does kind of suck with the FC, you're not as likely to find your parts at your local auto store, so you'll have to order more online. But for the most part, parts are somewhat available. Could be definitely a lot better, not the most available, but you can still get parts for it for most of your basic maintenance needs. Some of the more obscure stuff like battery trays, stuff like that, is going to obviously be a lot harder to find. But as far as stuff to keep it on the road, not too bad. Yeah, that's really it. As far as it's really not all that bad. It's just, they say a monkey can turn a wrench. And it's true. I mean, it's just, take the time, look on the forums if you have to. Sometimes, like, literally some of the basic maintenance, literally just do it. It's usually, if you can see, look, oh, I think this is how this comes off. Usually that is how it comes off. Don't second guess yourself and be like, I don't know how to do this. That's the biggest thing stopping anyone from working on any car, not just Rotaries, is just the mindset of, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what I'm doing. Which you may not, but you're never going to learn if you don't start somewhere. So that's just my kind of 2 cents on it. That's my thoughts on Rotaries. And really, if you really want a Rotary car, go get it. I mean, I would advise getting something else to daily, have some mode of transportation ready. But, if you want a Rotary car, do it. Just go out there and get it. The only thing stopping you is you. Like, I mean, unless a rare scenario where you just cannot find one around you, but for the most part, they made plenty of FCs, FBs. FBs are a bit rare and way more expensive, but there's RX8s. I mean, they're going up in price, but still, you can find some for reasonable prices. So if you want a Rotary, go do it. Just start the project, just definitely find some way to finance it. They aren't exactly cheap, especially if you have to rebuild them, but work on yourself. Don't come into if you're going to get one, you're probably going to have to work on it yourself. So definitely not the car for somebody who just wants to send it off to a shop, but if you want to build your own mindset and skill set, it's a great car just to figure out how to work on something, because they're not all that complicated. Of course, if you're getting like I can't really say I have a 6-port 13B. I don't really, as far as FC, so a Series 4 6-port 13B, which that one is not all that complicated, which mine's been emissions deleted, so I can't say for all of them, but generally speaking, it's not all that different from a standard car. I mean, you'll have to do some research at first. You probably won't know what's going on with it at first, but you'll learn if you put the time in. It's a very rewarding car to work on because you're learning stuff. If you enjoy learning, it's a great car, because I'm like, oh, that's what this does. Like, I just learned because I didn't know what the cruise control thing was on there, because I hadn't seen a cruise control set up like it is on my RX7. But I didn't know what it was. It was just like another throttle cable connected to this like vacuum with like an electrical input, and I was like, what on earth does this do? And yeah, it was a cruise control, but you just learn stuff all the time on it. And if you like learning stuff, it's a fun platform. I personally enjoy learning random crap, and I'm a nerd, so honestly, Rotary's perfect car for nerds, because you will learn just such random information. I think if you want a Rotary, and if you have the motivation to work and learn, it's a great platform to learn. It's rewarding to learn about it, so just go ahead and do it. Which if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.